All right. Ooh, there we go. Okay, so we have such a good Zoom that we're going to do tonight. So we had some people go Ruby last month. And if you're brand new here and you just joined in the last 30 days, will you put a 1 in our chat for us? We just want to welcome you because, dude, it's been nuts. There has been so many new faces joining this business. And so welcome, everybody. Oh, my gosh, how fun. So one of the girls that's speaking tonight actually joined in the last 30 days, and she promoted to Ruby as well. And so we have a couple people that are going to speak on that. And then if you don't know what Ruby is, basically, simple explanation, that's the first rank that we usually hit in the company. And the average income ranges from around $300 to $500 a month extra. You can also earn little bonuses on top of that and all of that good stuff. So some people, for me, it took me 4 months to hit Ruby. Some people like Caitlyn Allen that's going to speak on here, she hit it in like, I don't know, 4 hours. Not really, but it was like 3 weeks. And so some people, I mean, it's every single person's different. So if you're sitting on here tonight and you're like, oh my gosh, I've been in longer than all these people and they've already hit this and I haven't hit it, what am I doing? Just know that every person's story is different and yours is unique and it's going to fit you. So it's totally fine if there's no comparison here. But what I always look at whenever I see people who are doing what I want to do, I look at them and think, man, if they can do it, I can do it. So let them be the person who paves the way for you to be where you want to go and take their advice of how they got there. So we're also going to, Regina and I are going to tag team because 2 of the girls who promoted are on Regina's team and 2 of the ones who promoted that are speaking tonight are people who I personally enrolled. So Regina and I are going to kind of talk about, for those of you who are like, I'm already Ruby, how am I going to get anything from this? We're going to talk about how we duplicate and create Rubies. Okay, so we want to talk about that too. So let's just jump in with the first person that I see on my screen. So Caitlyn Lindquist, let's talk with you for a second. Tell us a little bit about who you are, where you're from, and all that good stuff. Tell us a little bit about your story, and then we'll get into questions after everybody introduces themselves.
Okay. Hi, everyone. I'm Caitlyn. I'm from Minnesota. I've been doing this since like the end of May. I just been Ruby last month. Yay. What do you want me to talk about?
Tell us a little bit about like what this business has done for you so far.
Okay, so I joined to save money to build a house. My boyfriend and I are building a house. So far it's just helped me be able to save extra money by paying for like gas and groceries, that kind of thing. I love it. It's a lot of fun. So how I will be, it took me, well, how many, 2 months to do. The first, not last month, June, I almost hit it. I was so close. I had the volume, but one of my distributors was short, so I was so close. So I'm like, this month, I am not letting it get away. So I pushed really hard. I signed my boyfriend up as a distributor, and I got his volume up to 400, so that really helps. So if you're missing a distributor, I would say sign up your significant other. It really helps. How I did it, just being consistent, posting on your stories every day, posting on Facebook every day. I probably post on Facebook like multiple times a day. I try to do something like about the business, something about a product. Sometimes I'll do like 2 product posts a day, and then sometimes I'll just do like a cute photo with like lifestyle kind of stuff. I would say there's plenty of times that I definitely felt like I wanted to give up, but that's when you need to push harder, because if I would have given up, I never would have made it to where I am now. So don't give up, keep pushing. It's okay to get annoying. I've messaged so many people. I felt like I was so annoying, but it paid off, because if you keep bugging people who say, oh, I'm going to order, but then they don't, you keep bugging them, and then eventually they do order. I also had one DT drop out like last minute too, so then I got another one. Then I helped her get her volume, so that was kind of stressful, but we made it. Let's see.
So I want to notice really quick too, though. So she has had things happen in her business that were less than ideal. Okay. Because sometimes we think like, oh, well, they're so lucky. Like they hit this promotion, they hit this rank, whatever. Like it was such a breeze. Things were easy for them. But what you don't know is the behind the scenes. All y'all are seeing right now is the glory. You're like, oh my gosh, Caitlyn gets to speak on a Zoom. Oh my gosh, she's a Ruby now. Oh my gosh, she's making all this money. But what you didn't see were the times that she messaged me and she was like, can I actually do this? Do you really think I can do this? And the times that she was staying up late and waking up early to make sure that she got her messages out so that she could get her customers. What you don't see right now are the times that she had that distributor quit last minute. Like nobody knew that part of her story, but that was definitely a part of her story. And I was like, crap, replace it. It's not a big deal. Let's just go. You're going to still hit it. And she just did it and she made it happen. But it was because she had already decided in her mind that she was going to. Like she said in June, she barely missed it. And she had already decided July 1st, I'm going to hit this promotion. I'm not going to miss it again. And so she already decided that. So even though all these things kept happening, even though, distributors quit, even though people told her no, even though she got ghosted, that wasn't like, oh, I guess it's not going to happen. She had already decided that it was going to happen. So that made her all the more like, okay, this is going to happen. Like, it doesn't matter, versus like her getting off track and thinking, oh, well, that just means this isn't for me this month. No, there is no such thing as like, God doesn't want this promotion for you this month. Like, that's like not a thing. Okay. He wants abundance for you. And so if this promotion isn't happening, then dig your heels in deeper and decide that it's going to happen and just go for it. Go all in, because the worst thing that you want to do is look back on the first of the month and be like, I could have done more. Or you can look back on the first of the month, the 1st of September, and be like, I gave it my all in August. And so I know that whether it happened or whether it didn't, I did all that I could. And so that's how you want to feel going into the next month. And so, Caitlyn, what are some things that you did for enrolling your customers? I know you mentioned posting and stuff, but you do a lot of post to post too, right? So what is your host to post that you use?
Yeah.
Do you use FX still?
Yes, I usually do the coffee. I feel like the coffee is a lot more popular because so many people love coffee and it's like so easy to switch. So I get a lot of people on coffee for sure. And I sell quite a few triple threats. The Thermofite X I don't do a whole lot of. I don't know. I just feel like coffee sells better for me, but host to post is definitely where it's at for customers.
Perfect. Let me see if there's any other things. Oh, so there are a lot of people on here right now who probably think, like, oh my gosh, like I just joined this business in the last 30 days. I'm still trying to get my shopping spree. So I don't even know if I could go Ruby. Like, this is so crazy. Like, if I don't even know if I have my shopping spree yet, how am I possibly going to hit Ruby? How did you gain the belief that you could go Ruby? And then how would you help that person who's like, I don't know if I can do it? Like, what would you say to them? How did you gain that belief? Did you do self-development? Were you saying, I mean, I know you're on all of these Zooms. Like, I see you on every single week. So how did you gain that belief? Was it just from getting around the team or getting on Zooms or what?
Yeah, the Zooms really like get me hyped up. So after I get on a Zoom, I'm like, yes, like let's do this. And I believe last month because I had the volume, but I was just like short. So I'm like, next month will be easy to get it. And that's when I started like realizing like if you just get the volume and your distributors and you keep track, be consistent, it will come.
I love it. So she didn't look at June as like, I pushed so hard and I missed it. Forget this. She said, wow, I got so close, so I know I can hit it this month. Do you see that mindset? So many people would have looked at June and been like, why did I even put in all that work? Like, I worked so hard. What was that for? Like, it was all for nothing, right? But Caitlyn was like, no, if I can do that, and I got so close that this last month, that's going to make my job so much easier this month to hit that promotion. So all the work that she did in May and June and July paid off for her to actually finally hit her promotion in July. So it wasn't wasted energy. It wasn't wasted effort. It was all for a purpose. And now she's so stinking close to Emerald because she pushed so hard for Ruby for like that whole month of June and missed it, that she got Ruby pretty easily last month and then just like flying right into Emerald. So that's super exciting too, which is the next rank. If you're brand new and you don't know what Emerald is, it's just the next rank. So anyways, thank you, Caitlyn, for sharing all of that. Did you have anything else you wanted to say? I just don't want to cut you off. All good? Perfect.
Nope.
All right. Thank you very much. Okay, so one thing I want to say too is if you're brand new and you're like, some of the stuff that they're saying is confusing me as far as like distributors and volume and Ruby, don't get caught up in the specifics. Okay. What I want you to pay attention to is the belief and to know that one day you're going to be pushing for Ruby too. And I want you to think back on this and be like, wow, I can do this. And the work that I'm putting in right now isn't wasted. And if I miss my goal, I'm that much closer next month if I just keep going, right? So that's how I want you to view this. Like, I want you to get the big stuff, okay? If you are somebody who's going Ruby and you have your chart out, that's what I want you to think about. I want you to look at your chart and see, okay, well, all my distributors aren't working. Oh, but that's okay because Caitlyn's weren't either. And that's okay. I can do this. Another thing to think about too is people who are already Ruby. You're going to hear from Regina and I later on in the Zoom, like I said before. So make sure that you're paying attention to that and how we're creating and duplicating those Rubies, because you don't want it to just stop with you. You want to create more, because Rubies are the building blocks of any rank in this company. If you can go Ruby and turn around and teach other people how to do that, you're going to be successful in this business. So, okay. So number one goal, if you're brand new, number one, you're going to get 6 customers and get your shopping spree. Okay, so that's pretty cool. If you've already gotten your shopping spree ever in this business already, go ahead and put a 2 in the chat just so we can encourage people that it can be done. You can get your shopping spree. If some of you are like, I don't know if I can do it, let this be proof right here that you can do it. All these 2s flying in. I got my shopping spree way back in the day in 2014. Whenever I joined, I got my shopping spree. You can do it too. Then after you get your shopping spree, your enroller is going to work with you on starting to get a Ruby chart out. We're going to work with you on what that looks like and kind of go from there. But anyway, so let's go ahead and go to our next guest. So Noelle, I see your face on here. So we'll go to you if you want to just share a little bit about your story to start, and then we can get into some questions.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, we can. I muted myself.
Are we good?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay. Okay. So I'm Noelle. I am from a town in West Virginia. I'm a wife and I have 4 kids that are 7 and under. Okay. I joined back in April. And the main reason was really because I wanted to pay for my products. I loved them so much, and I had recently lost my job, and I just wanted a way to bring in some extra income. The day that my distributor asked me to join, I came up with so many excuses as to why I couldn't join, because I couldn't comprehend that it could be successful, okay, that you could actually make money doing this. So I went ahead and I jumped and I joined anyway. That very next day, I still had that same mindset. 3 days into it, I proved myself wrong, because you can make an income doing this from your phone, from your home, wherever you want to. And I really had to take and change that mindset completely, because I think we all are a little skeptical going into it. But we just have to change the mindset. And that's what I had to do. And even like the first month, I was kind of a little hesitant. The first week I got my shopping spree and everything. And then I kind of felt like I hit a roadblock and a wall. And so I dropped the consistency. I kind of dropped the ball on it. And I noticed that my business and everything, it took a hit. And so, the second month came around and I jumped back in. And I just decided to change my mindset completely. And, no matter if I got distributors, if I got loyal customers, that I was going to stay consistent, because if I stuck with it, I knew that I would see the fruit of my labor. And so I pushed harder, I stuck with it, and I hit Ruby, and I am now charted for Emerald too. So just stick with it, guys, okay? Because it really does take consistency.
Wow. Oh my word. You just like blew up. And guys, like, Noelle, you can attest to this too. Like, everything didn't just like happen, like boom, like you woke up one day and you were like, oh my gosh, like I'm Ruby. No, like it took you a little bit of time to get to that point. But I have seen you day in and day out, and I will shout you out all day long, day in and day out. You have always been consistent. You have never let the things that you joined for become the reason why you said that you couldn't do this. You joined this business for your kids, and because you have a busy schedule, And I don't know, maybe, I mean, Regina's your enroller, but I know I've talked to you quite a bit too, and I've never heard you say, I'm too busy because of my kids and I'm too busy because of school, because those are the reasons why you joined. And yeah, maybe that's true. And some days you feel like this business is a little overwhelming to fit it all in, but you always make it work. You always make it a priority. And I've never heard you make an excuse. So shout out to you, because guys, at the end of the day, you can't let the reason that you joined this business with the 4 kids under 7 years old, if that's your story, you can't let that be the reason that holds you back. You can't let that be the thing that says, oh, well, I can't go Ruby because, you know, I'm so busy with my kids. Because you joined so that you could be able to put your kids in dance or be able to do things with your kids and have extra money to take them on a vacation or whatever it is. So I just wanted to shout you out for that, because that's pretty cool. So even though you've had times where, oh, what I was going to say, that was like a little bit of a tangent. What I was going to say is I've seen you always on these team Zooms. I've always seen you get on our power hours. If you don't know what a power hour is, I can explain that to you all in a little bit. But you're always on, you're connecting and plugging in all the time. So whenever things still didn't happen for you, you still showed up. Why? How did you, because I know that you said like if you kept working, it would work for you. But how did you keep showing up day in and day out? And like, how did you fight through that discouragement that so many of us feel? It's normal. I definitely have felt discouraged in my business. But through that, how did you fight through that and keep showing up for your business?
Honestly, I saw what the effect that it was having on so many other people's lives. And I told myself, I want that. This is the goal that I am going for. And the fact that I could match my husband's income and at some point surpass that, that's what kept me going, because to be able to take that relief off of him is huge. And so I saw the goal, I set a goal for myself, and I kept pushing for it. And I kept telling myself, that's what I want. Whenever the times get hard, that's what I want. And to get there, I have to keep consistent.
So good. Okay, perfect. So I already shouted you out about excuses, but if you have anything else to add about the no excuses thing, you can add that into with this question. So how did you get the belief that you could go Ruby? Because so many people join this business and don't hit Ruby because they don't truly believe that they can do it. They start to believe that it's for everybody but them. So how did you gain that belief?
Honestly, it was through the encouragement of others and changing my mindset. And I'm kind of an overachiever, I will admit that. The first month that I was in, I printed off my Ruby chart, I printed off my Emerald chart, I printed off my Diamond chart, and I was like, I'm going to shoot for Diamond. And so like I've been scribbling, filling out my Diamond chart, but I knew that I had to hit Ruby too. And so it was kind of just changing my mindset of, I want this. So to get that, I have to hit this first.
So good. So good. Okay. So how did you sign your people? Because for Ruby, okay, breaking it down simple again, just in case people are brand new and they're like, what the heck does this mean? For Ruby or for any promotion, you need to sign distributors, you need to sign customers. So we get paid to help people get to help people order products and get healthy, and to help people join the business and make money. That's pretty cool, because we literally get paid to help a bunch of people, okay? So how did you sign up your customers and your distributors? What platforms did you use?
I definitely use the Host-a-Post. I think that is a big one. And I think that just communicating with people and being real on our social media profiles, and making that connection with others, because like I would, by doing that, you know, if I saw somebody that said, you know, I'm looking for a job, I'd send that person a message. And something that I definitely learned the end of the last month, don't be afraid to cold message. Okay. If you don't know what that is, ask your distributor. Do not be afraid to cold message. And I learned that the worst thing that they can say to you is no. Okay. It's not going to take away anything from your business. Reach out to these people. Don't be afraid to do it, because the worst that they can say is no.
Yes, so true. And at the end of the day, some people that say no now are going to come back and say yes later. And I bet every single one of these girls who have spoken tonight and who are going to speak, and even people who aren't speaking that have been on this or in this business for any length of time, will tell you that the people who said yes in the last couple of weeks are people who said no before, right? And sometimes you talk to them forever ago, and I'm just going to shout out Kane right now because he told me no, like in, I don't know, 2018, and he was like, no, it's just not for me right now, and that's totally fine. But then he texted me like a month ago, and he was like, you know what? I'm ready. I'm all in. Let's do this. And signed up on the spot. And he's been making this such a priority in his life, and he's about to get his shopping spree. So that's super exciting too. So make sure that you're not giving up on these people, and don't take those no's as, oh, well, people just don't want this and I'm just going to quit, because then I would never have signed a lot of people that I've signed up who didn't say yes at first. So that is so good. Noelle, do you have any last things to say? I don't want to cut you off, but
I don't think so.
perfect. All right. Well, thank you so much for sharing. That was perfect. Okay. So next, let's go to Caitlyn Allen. Let me just find you on here. You may have to like wave or something, or yeah, there you are. I see you. Okay. Tell us a little bit about where you're from, all that good stuff, when you started, and yes.
Okay. Hi, everybody. So I joined like a week ago. No, I'm just kidding. I joined 25 days ago. So it was kind of soon. I had been talking to Morgan for, I don't know. I messaged her in April, and then I was like, I don't really want to do that. And then I just kept seeing her posting, which is exactly why I feel like posting so important, is because I watched her post for like months. And I was like, okay, I'm doing this. And then I texted her again, and I signed up on the spot. But I'm from Florida. I am recently married. I just had my 6-month anniversary on Saturday. I have a dog. I work full-time in a counseling agency, and I'm also getting my master's in clinical mental health counseling, as well as being a cosmetologist, and I do makeup on the weekends for rides and all that fun stuff. So I stay extremely busy, and this is kind of just another like piece of the puzzle for me, but it's been so easy to work in, like with prioritizing my life. I am naturally just an overworker, like Noelle was saying. Like I do it to myself, honest to God. I really do. So it's just, I don't know. I feel like it's mindset that like I spent, before I did this business, I spent hours on social media every night, or just like watching YouTube videos. And now I just replaced that by talking to people who could join the business or sign up with products that are awesome that can change their life. So it's worth the sacrifice.
So good. And she is sacrificing the small things now so she can say yes to the big things later. And that's what you should be doing too. That's the name of the game, okay? It's saying no to the YouTube videos now that are not going to matter to you in a year from now, so that you can say yes to going Ruby, and so that you can literally make an income from your phone that could potentially change your life, And $500 a month, that's $6,000 a year, guys. That's a lot of money. People, I mean, what could you pay off with that? What debt do you have that's $6,000? I mean, going Ruby is huge. It's a big deal. So Caitlyn, how do you work this into your schedule, and what was your mindset behind just like overcoming those excuses that you could have made for yourself, but you obviously didn't?
Yeah, I think it's kind of funny because whenever I started, I hit my first 6 customers in the first week, and I was like, this is so much fun. Like, I love this. And I texted Morgan, because she's my enroller, and I said, hey, like, I'm so excited. I'm going to hit, what's it called? Executive this month. And she was like, girl, no, you're going to hit Ruby this month. And I was like, okay, maybe I'm going to hit Ruby then. Like, I don't know why, like, my brain just wasn't even there. So when she said that, I was like, oh, heck yeah, I'm going to hit Ruby this month. Like, I'm doing that. And so I printed off charts, and I just, every day I posted, I was consistent. I even talked to her. I said, I really feel like I'm posting so much, and I just don't want to be like overwhelming and all those things that everybody feels when they first start. But it just became kind of like a habit, like get up, get ready for work, post something. And it doesn't even have to be like, join me, look at my awesome deal. Like it could literally just be a quote or something. So I feel like it's super easy to work into your schedule once you get used to it. But it is definitely an adjustment, especially if you're not like social media savvy before, which I kind of already was. So it was like not really a big deal for me to post. But it's just one of those things where I feel like other people and staying plugged in was so important for me. Like, I texted Morgan, y'all, all day, every day. Like, blow up your uplines, okay? They want you to do that because you're reaching out to them, making sure you're doing everything right, you're getting advice. Also, like, they're shouting you out, they're making you feel good, and it really makes you feel like you're part of a team. And to me, that's important because I just, like, I don't know, I like that. Like, I want to feel like, okay, I'm doing something good, like, I'm doing this right. And I told all my girls that. I'm like, please blow my phone up. Like, talk to me all day long because I want to help you. Like, I want you to be where I'm at. And for me to achieve Ruby, like, I can't stop here because my girls can't grow if I don't grow. Like, that's just honest truth.
Ooh, that last little bit, that was a mic drop there at the end. Oh, that was good. Because here's the thing, guys, like, if I didn't keep pushing for this, I wouldn't keep enrolling people. If I had just stayed at Ruby, none of you would have joined because none of you are in my business when I were at Ruby. So you have to keep going so that your other team can grow. And so it's not selfish to want more. It's actually really selfless because you're proving to other people that it can be done. And Caitlyn sitting here saying, I got my shopping spree, I went Ruby, let me show you how to do it. Her girls on her team are already enrolling. They're doing their shopping spree. They're already enrolling their first distributors. Why? Because Caitlyn said that they could do it, and she's wanting more. She's like, I'm going diamond this month. She's like up for this bonus because she joined last month, and she's like, I'm going diamond this month, and
Yeah.
so she's pushing, and that's going to make her team have to grow because she can't go diamond without her team promoting too. So,
No.
and yes, blow your uplines phone up. We want to hear from you because my girls that text me every single day, I'm like, I know those are the ones who are actually working. Like, I know those are the ones who want it because they're active, they're asking questions, they're engaged, they're plugged in. And so, yeah, make sure that you do that. Okay, so what about your enrollments? I know you talked a lot about posting. So where did you do host to post? Did you do TikToks? What did you do?
Okay, so I wanted to do TikToks, but I really haven't gotten into that yet. So mainly, I feel like Facebook's been the most useful platform for me. I haven't gotten any orders yet off of Instagram. I'm sorry, I did get one yesterday, but that was my first one. And I've only been doing it for a month, so that probably will change. But I feel like whenever I'm posting on Instagram, it's more like gauged toward distributors just because it's a lot of people that I know, maybe in college, and Facebook is just like a lot of people that are wanting to, I don't know, just wanting to lose weight or interested. I feel like I'd get a bunch more engagement off there, but I do a host to post. I try to do that every day. Coffee ones, the TFX ones really work because then I can upsell triple threat. And something that I kind of want to hit on, I'm red blue. So like I have no issue working hard, asking you if you want to add something to your cart. Like I don't have an issue with that. I do that whenever I go to when I go to the checkout and they're like, oh, did you want to add this for $3? I'm like, sure, whatever. I don't care. Like that sounds good. So that's basically what you're doing whenever you say, hey, do you want to add this? Because it's going to help this. Like the other day, for example, a girl messaged me about coffee. So I was like, yeah. And I sent her the information. She sent me like her card and everything. Like I literally was just going to enroll her Skinny Brew. And I was like, hey girl, like, do you want to pair the cleanse with that? Because it would be awesome, blah, blah, blah. I just sent her the upsell. And she was like, girl, yes, like I really, really need that. And I was like, okay, well, like if you need that, then you probably need the whole triple threat, to be honest. And just talked about the triple threat. And she was like, yes, absolutely. Like sign me up. Like she had zero hesitation. And if I would have never like mentioned upselling, that would have been a 33 BV and it was 116 BV, which helped me push to Ruby like real quick. So I think upselling is really important because your customers want to buy the stuff. Not all of them can afford triple threat at the beginning, but they want to see that you're excited about the products and that you will offer them to them. Like I had another customer who messaged me about something else. She had already bought something and I mentioned Sleepy D. She's like, yeah, I'll try it. But like you will never know what your customers are interested in if you don't mention it. So that's super important. Like I know it feels weird and you feel like you're trying to like, I don't know, take their money, but it's really not like that because all they have to say is no. Like when they say no, you're like, okay, sounds good. Like I'll get it in. I don't know. Like to me, that just makes sense. So upselling and then posting also. like the other night, y'all, I was like, I really don't want to post. So I didn't post in the morning, and I was like, oh, I don't want to post today. Okay, but I was like, you know what? No, you're not gonna post because you don't want to. Like, you can change someone's life today. So I posted at like 7 o'clock at night, just like a random thing. I got like 3 likes. Okay, one of my current distributors, Mary Beth, she's on right now. Hey, Mary Beth, I love you. She commented on that and literally signed up, I think, the next day. And she has already got her 6 LCs, her first distributor, and she is going Ruby this month. 100% going Ruby. And it's all because I posted when I did not feel like it. Like, that post had no engagement except her. I had never spoke to her. She was actually going to order something. And then I was like, she mentioned when she was ordering, like, hey, I'm kind of interested in selling. And I was like, let's do it. So I just feel like it's super important to keep your mind right and not get discouraged, because I get yes, I went Ruby in 24 days, but I got no's every single day, like 100%. I got like 50 no's today from distributors. Like, it happens. I mean, it really does. You can't just get discouraged, because out of those 50 no's, you may get 2 distributors and they may freaking rock your business, because you really only need a few people up top with you who are like, hey, I catch your vision and I'm going with you. Once you do that, they catch your vision and they take off, and then they get distributors, and that's how your team grows. Because what Morgan does for this team is she inspires us, she pushes us, she's like, hey, y'all, I'm showing up today. I signed up 55 enrollers, so what are y'all doing? And then it gets us excited. So that's the kind of leader I want to be. Like, I want to make my team excited to show up, show out, like, hey, y'all, I'm putting in the steps, like, and I'll help you. I'll get you an extra customer if you can't make it. Like, I will be there. And that's what we have to do to show our teams, because nobody wants a leader who's like, yeah, I hope you can hit Ruby in like, the next 6 months. No, it's okay if you don't hit Ruby in a month or even 3 months, but push your team and really like be there with them, because it's important for them to see that you're showing up too.
So good. Oh my gosh, that was awesome. Did you have any last things that you wanted to say really quick?
I don't think so. I think the biggest thing for me is just even like as busy as you are, like, just remember that you started this business for a reason. And I mean, that reason is probably still the same. You probably still want an extra $1,000 a month. And so to meet that goal, like, your goals are not getting any closer to you. You have to run to them. So just show up and run to your goals every day.
So good. Thank you. And I love that she talked about her no's too, because guys, she didn't go Ruby in 24 days because she always heard yes. She actually went Ruby in 24 days because she heard more no's than you did. And if you can hear more no's, you're going to get the yeses. And the worst case scenario is that whenever you hear a no, you planted a seed. And that seed is going to harvest. It's the law of sowing and reaping. You can't go out into a literal field and plant a seed and not get crops from that, right? But it takes water. And that watering is the posting that you're doing. So Caitlyn we talked, she ghosted me. I kept posting. So that was a seed that planted. So it wasn't a bad thing. It wasn't awful. I didn't even remember her telling me no or ghosting me, honestly, because I was just like, okay, I'm going to find somebody who does say yes. So I don't even remember her saying no or ghosting me, but I was still planting seeds. And so then I was watering the seed that I planted with her by posting consistently, showing up for my team, showing up for my business, not being afraid to hear a no. And because I watered that seed, Caitlyn harvested and decided to become a distributor. And so that's exactly what happens. And so that's why sometimes it does take time. You don't plant the seed and look for the tree outside the next day. And you don't dig up the seed to see if it's going to be a tree and then put it back in the ground and keep digging it up every day. You keep the seed there and you water it and then it grows, right? So make sure that you remember that analogy whenever you think that people are telling you no, or that everybody's telling you no. If everybody's telling you no, you're not talking to enough people. Just being honest with you, because I've never had a day where everyone told me no. Why? Because if I got 82 no's, I'm going to talk to an 83rd person until somebody tells me yes. And yes may be like, yes, I'm interested in more information, go ahead. It's not, yes, I'm interested in the products, or yes, I'm interested in the business, or yes, I'm ordering now. You're not going to have someone order every day, most likely. You're not going to have a yes every single day, but you sure can fight for it. So I fight to get in these conversations with people because there are more lives to be changed, like Caitlyn said. So post when you don't feel like it because you just never know. Okay, so last one. I was gonna talk about my grass. We literally sit outside and watch our grass grow in our front yard. We got it hydro seeded. Anyways, okay, Sarah, let's go to you. Oh, that's not what I meant to do. I'm gonna unmute you. Okay, so tell us a little bit about your story, where you're from. You're a busy mama too, so tell us how you fit this business into your schedule. Tell us all the good things. Tell us your story.
Okay, hi guys. I'm 26 years old. I'm from a small town in West Virginia also. I have 2 kids under the age of 3 years old, and I still have a full-time job. I actually work at the tax office inside our courthouse in our town. So with it being first things first, I set daily goals for myself. And if that's getting a notebook or getting a calendar or just anything along those lines, I make sure every day I start out, first of all, with some sort of self-development, because I feel like that's helped me a ton within this business, because I feel like when I first started out and like I got my first LCs within the first week, and then boom, I was moving on to people wanting to sign with me and just one thing after I felt like I was getting kind of overwhelmed at first. So I kind of slowed down a bit. I didn't slow down the business. I just slowed down my mental health part of it. And I got a notebook. I started taking notes every day. I started listing goals for myself and just little tasks to do throughout the day. Because with the job I have, and then of course my kids, I have a very busy schedule throughout the day. So I write down like just simple daily tasks that I do, and then I just work on those throughout the day. Like first thing first, I start off in the morning with self-development, of course, making my coffee. And then I, of course, get ready for work. And then once I get to work, I try to give myself, just even before I started the business, I would try to give myself like 10 minutes of downtime before I just like went right in and started waiting on people. So that's 10 minutes now that I spend on just my downtime. I get my post ready for the day if I haven't done it the night before. So I'll either, like Caitlyn said, I'll just post like a cute quote or something on my story, or I'll just, if I've gotten a post ready the day before, I'll just post it on Facebook real quick, whether it's a product or a business post or just something along those lines. One thing that has really helped me too is taking a lot of cute selfies on a good day, a good hair and makeup day, and then just using those selfies for a quick post with your product post or your business post, just to make it a lot easier on you, and it'll be a lot easier in the long run too. So definitely self-development. I take notes. Like my day going all crazy and getting overwhelmed.
So good.
Did you?
Sorry, I think you're lagging a little bit, but here, I'm gonna mute you and then I'll unmute you again because there's a little bit of background noise. But so that's so good, and I love that she decided, you know what, I feel overwhelmed, so I'm gonna do something to control that. She didn't say I'm overwhelmed, so I'm out. She was like, I'm overwhelmed, so what can I do about that? And so she got a notebook. She started taking control of her organization, and she decided that she was going to start doing self-development. And I put a book in the chat if you didn't see it yet. But there's an app called Audible, and you can literally listen to books, and that's what I would do. I listen to it on the way to work, or I mean, I don't work, but you can listen to it on the way to work. I listen to it in the car on the way to whatever. And I listen to it just throughout my day while I'm doing dishes or laundry or getting ready, and I listen to self-development then, and I just like get filled up for the day, and just get encouraged and learn more about leadership or learn more about, you know, whatever. So that is so good. And the photo shoot idea, so good. Guys, I post 3 TikToks a day. If you don't know TikTok, just don't worry about it yet. We'll get into that. But I do 3 TikToks a day. Most of y'all, if you signed up in the last 60 days, you probably signed up with me through a TikTok. But I did 3 a day for the last like 3 weeks. I don't know. And I make my TikToks like 2 days a week, maybe. And so I don't even like, I looked like this all day. Actually, I was in pajama pants. But I literally get ready 1 or 2 days. I get all my posts. I take my pictures ahead of time. Guess what? That's exactly what bloggers do. You think bloggers look cute every single day and do all of their posts every single day? No. Most of them set up their content ahead of time. YouTubers, same thing. They set their content up. They make all their videos in one day, and then they post them throughout the week, but they change clothes, so you have no idea that it was taken in different days. Work smarter, not harder. So that's such a good tip. So what are some things that you did to overcome some excuses that you could have made but that you didn't? And where did your enrollments come from?
Okay. First thing, I didn't, there's 1,000 excuses I could definitely make because I have a super busy schedule as is. But first things first, let's be honest, COVID hit, it affected us all. It affected the whole country. And whenever that happened, my husband's hours got cut back tremendously. And so did my hours. They put me off work for 3 weeks. So from going to a full-time job, 40 hours a week, 8 to 4 every day, and then they sent me home one day and was like, oh, well, you're going to be off for this. We have goals. I can't go without pay within that time. So I actually seen Regina's host a post because other friends had hosted. I'm like, I can remember from being at home during the so I just kept watching, and she was at her host a post through several of my friends, and I just kept seeing it over and over again. And I was just like, man, I could really use that extra income in my life. So I was like, do I have time for this? I don't have time for this. How am I going to make time for this? But I was like, you know what? I need grocery money, like grocery money, y'all. Like it was tough. And that way to do something, but I can't leave kids and afford a babysitter either. So, and I was just like, what's about? Like, so definitely didn't make excuses for myself. And then once I started the business, like I said, I did get a little overwhelmed at first, but then I slowed down, of course, my mindset, and was like, you have to do this, this, and this. You need to line yourself out. If you want to hit Ruby, you need to line yourself out and get set back. So self-development was definitely a huge thing for me. I didn't make excuses because I was like, you know, I want to have that extra income on it. I can do it. So no excuses up to do it. And then a lot of my customers come from Host to Post. Like, Host to Post is a game changer. And like, I feel like I do post daily about either a product or a business, or maybe a couple products within the day, but then I feel like people just get tired of seeing my post. So then having like all my friends post for me, or just cold messaging like other people to host posts for me, that's where like 80% of my customers come from, is Host to Post. So it's a huge deal, and I make sure I try to get up at least 6 to 10 Host to Post a day, depending on how busy my day goes. I always make sure to get those out.
So good. I love it. Okay. So, do you have any last encouragement for somebody who is struggling with belief that they can actually hit Ruby? Or how did you gain the belief to go Ruby in such a short amount of time that you joined this business, had no clue what you were doing, and then now you're Ruby? How did you get to that point mentally?
Mentally, I got to that point only because I had set goals for myself, just like Noelle had mentioned earlier. I have a goal, and I had set that goal. I had went and got this chart, printed out a chart, and then made a homemade chart. I just kept myself listed and was like, you know, we need to be here on the chart, but I'm down here. So then, of course, I would make daily tasks for myself to be able to reach that, to get closer to my goal each day. So basically, any kind of encouragement or just mindset I have for everyone is make sure, if you have not started doing any kind of self-development or daily affirmations, or just having that downtime to yourself to actually just reconnect, refresh, definitely start doing that because it will change your business. People want to hear you excited about the business. They want to see that you're willing to jump forward and take that next step. So definitely try to do that, because if they see you excited about it, then they're going to be more excited about it. So definitely self-development, take notes, don't be afraid to ask questions. Definitely what Caitlyn said earlier, if you need help or you're not for sure if you're ready for that next step, don't be afraid to ask questions, because we're all willing. Like, I feel like since I signed this group, it's been such a huge, everybody's always willing to help everybody, and I love that. I love that. So definitely, if you have questions, don't be afraid to ask and just shoot for the stars, because Mike, I don't know if anybody's took the call afraid to go after what I want, or I'm not afraid to ask questions and get the help I needed just so I can get to that next step. So definitely jump out of your comfort zone, because I promise you, you're not going to regret it, and just keep pushing every single day. Consistency is the key.
So good. Thank you, Sarah. So guys, you may have heard some stuff and you've been like, oh my gosh, everybody's saying the exact same thing. But that's because success leaves clues. Like, if they're all saying they all did the same exact thing and they're all like host to post and self-development, what should that tell you? That you should probably be doing host post and self-development. And I wanted to just throw this out there too. If you're brand new and you're like, what is a host to post? If you don't know what that is, you haven't gotten there in your training yet, but just go ahead and use this as like an overview for whenever you do learn what host to post is, to be like, that's the thing I really need to do, because everybody's doing it and it really works. Okay. So keep that in mind, but don't get overwhelmed or like, stuck on the fact that you don't know what that is yet. But okay, so we have just a couple minutes left, and go ahead and put a 3 in the chat really quick, just so I know who's still with me. Tell me if you've learned something tonight. Put a 3. If you've been encouraged, if you've been like, oh my gosh, this is totally what I needed. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna go Ruby like tomorrow. Give me a 3 in the chat. I want to see who is excited about this. Because these girls, y'all are killing it. Y'all did so good. Thank y'all for hopping on here and sharing that. So really quick, Regina and I are going to just share a little bit about how we help our team go Ruby, because Regina does create a lot of Rubies within her team and her organization. And 2 of these girls that spoke tonight were her personally enrolled girls. So Regina, how did you kind of get them to that point where they did believe in themselves, where you created that connection, you had that friendship? How did you get to there? And what would you tell somebody that's already Ruby that's like, I want to create my own Rubies? How would you tell them to do that?
Okay, so I have been in actually for a year and a half, and I went Ruby in 3 weeks, and then I sit there. So the things that I try to teach people is because I learned the hard way. And not every, like, these girls are new Rubies. They haven't really been in there that long. I mean, 3 months to a month. But the ones wanting to go Ruby, you all don't be stubborn. Like, we're telling you things because we learned them because we were stubborn, or we had to change our mindset. So whenever I enrolled at actually Amanda, that Sarah is under, like, she was one of my first Rubies when I like changed my mindset, which was around March was when I had to change my mindset. So I was like, I'm doing this different. I'm not going to drop the ball. I took it upon myself to make sure I made a personal connection. And one of the things that I want to encourage the ones that are wanting to go Ruby, usually if you're being enrolled, you're enrolled someone that is higher than Ruby. So that means they're putting you under someone else on their chart. You need to take it upon yourself to make a relationship with who you are placed under. I mean, your enroller is going to train you, you're going to have a relationship with them, but your direct volume and your direct placement is affecting someone else under them. So I really encouraged, like, Sarah is under Amanda, so they speak. So I really feel like making a connection more than just your enroller is really important, because there's going to be different point of views. It's going to be different stories, different struggles. I mean, different ways of training. My enroller actually quit whenever I was in the business for 6 months. So I was kind of stupid and didn't contact the person I was placed under. So my enroller quit in October. I waited all the way until January to contact the person that I was placed under. Like, y'all, we could have already been double, going triple right now. We wasted so much time. And now we're working as a team. So it is our responsibility to train you as a Ruby. But if you're placed under someone else, you need to understand that that's going to be a separate, like, a separate, like, affect them as well. I mean, you are more directly under someone else. So don't limit your knowledge or your help from just the person that you enroll. And that was a big change for me, is I tried to connect them to the people that they were placed under, and not just myself, because I'm going to fail, at some points, and someone else could be strong in that point. So having multiple leaders and multiple people to learn from really helped, I feel, this time around, when I decided that I wasn't going to let these girls, drop off my team.
So good. And I love what you said about learning everything the hard way. Bro, same. And I actually sat at Ruby for a whole year. And, I did everything wrong. And so whenever we have these trainings like this, it's not because we're like, oh my gosh, I love hearing myself talk. It's because it works. It's because we want to help you be successful. And Regina and I want to share the things that we did wrong, so that instead of you doing the same thing that we did and being like, well, I just want to see for myself, like, take our word for it. This doesn't work and this does work. Don't do what didn't work for us. Do what did work for us, because there's a reason why it worked. Okay. So if you are somebody who is a Ruby and above already in this business, think about that. Whenever you chart, you need to be introducing the people who you place these people under, right? Like, they need to have that personal connection, so that they can make sure that they're getting that double that help. And like Regina said, I may explain something different than Carly would, and Carly's going to explain something different than Emily would. And the fact that all three of us have, are helping certain people on a team, that's huge for that person, because now they can go to Carly or Emily or me or whoever and know that the answer might be a little bit different, but we're all going to say the same thing. But I may say something that they're like, what? And then Carly's going to say, they're going to be like, oh, that makes sense. Okay, got it. So it just gives that extra layered leadership, and that's what you're creating. And so, so I'll share a little bit too, and then I can let you say something if you have anything else to share too. But one thing that I do that helps me to really pop a lot of Rubies, and I don't even know how many I've personally, that have my personal distributors that have gone Ruby this year. It's been a lot. I've enrolled a lot of people who've gone Ruby and above. So what I do that I've done differently from whenever, because I wasn't always like that. Like, I'm not over here tooting my own horn. I'm saying I made the same shifts in my mindset and in my actions that Regina did, and it's paid off. So what I used to do was just like, okay, like, that's awesome. Like, you got your shopping spree. Good job. Like, I don't know. Like, I didn't really have the belief that people could go Ruby because it took me so long. And then I sat there for a year. So I was like Ruby or less for 14 months in my business for the first 14 months. And so I didn't really have this like belief that people could do it. And so I transferred that to my team. So if you don't even believe that people can go Ruby, if you don't believe that you can go Ruby, you're going to transfer that belief to the people that you're signing up. So don't do that. Believe that every single person who signs this business wants to be a diamond and above. Every single time that you enroll somebody, think, oh, this is my next rock star. Because it's so much better than thinking, oh, this person's probably just going to quit too, or, oh, this person's not going to work. Nobody joins a business like this to fail. Nobody joins this business to suck, right? We all join this business to be successful. So if you are, getting people started in this business, think, okay, this is my next Ruby. That's our next step. So as soon as somebody gets close to getting their shopping spree, it depends on how long it takes. Like, if they're just like killing it with customers, I'll use Caitlyn Allen for an example, and Caitlyn Lindquist too, because they were both my girls who talked tonight. So they both enrolled and got their shopping spree very quickly. I think both of y'all within your first week or so. And so for them, it was like whenever they were like 4 to 5 customers in, I was already talking to them about their Ruby charts. And so I had them get their Ruby charts out. Because guys, if you don't have a roadmap to a place you've never been, are you going to get there? No. And if you do get there by some just like crazy, like you just happen to get there, you're not going to get there as fast as you could have if you just used a map. If I were to start driving out west right now and try to make it to the Grand Canyon without using Google Maps, I either wouldn't get there at all or it would take me forever. But if I just use Google Maps, it'll take me the time it's supposed to take me. So your map is your chart. If you have a chart, you know what you need, you know where to go. If you don't, then you don't. So get your chart out, but get your team to get their chart out. That's available in the document library on eSuite. If you are on the Zoom right now, you want to be successful at this business even more so than I think the people, I mean, some people just couldn't get on, but you want to be successful. So go in right now. If you don't have a chart, go into your document library on eSuite and get your Ruby chart out. You can literally search the word Ruby chart. You're going to find it, download it, get it out, print it, write it on a napkin. I don't care what you do. It doesn't have to be fancy, but have it. Know what you need to go Ruby. So as soon as they start getting their, yes, Caitlyn has hers right now. If you see them start to get close to getting their shopping spree, you're going to immediately say, okay, the next step for what we're doing is we're going to go ahead and get our Ruby chart out. Because here's what that looks like. I know you don't have your shopping spree yet, but here's what your next step is. Why do I do that before they hit their shopping spree? This is the key. Because if you tie, you die. You never, ever, ever want your distributors to hit their goal. That sounds bad, but what I mean by that is you never want them to be done. You always want them to be pushing for the next thing. So you don't ever want them to be like, oh, I got my shopping spree. Yay, I did it. You want them to say, oh, I got my shopping spree. So how do I get my distributors? Oh, I just got my shopping spree. So what else do I need for Ruby? I just got my shopping spree. So where's my volume at to hit that overall 2,000 group volume? That's what they should be saying. Not, oh, I got my shopping spree, I'm done. Because then you have a lot of people who hit their shopping spree and don't do anything else. And then whenever Caitlyn was going Ruby, I was like, all right, we're going Emerald. So here, go ahead and get out your Emerald chart, sister, because your Ruby chart's full and you're assigning more distributors and you have nowhere to place them. And as soon, she has like 2 DTs, I think, left to chart for Emerald. So when she gets one more, we're getting the Diamond chart out. We're going to start looking at what she needs for that because I don't want her to get charted for Emerald and be like, okay, got it, check. Oh, got the volume, check. I want her to always be shooting for the next thing, casting that vision. People are like, how do you cast vision? That's how you cast vision. And you believe that it really can happen. And that goes back to the first thing I said. They want to be successful. Nobody joins this business to suck. Nobody joins this business to quit. They want to be successful. Help them get there. Give them the tools. Everything that they need is in the team page, but if you can give them the tools and literally hand them the resource to say, here's exactly what you do, then it's going to be even better. Hold their hand. Literally hold their hand. Let them blow your phone up. You don't have to be there for them every single second. Sometimes it takes me a little bit to get back to them because I do have things I'm doing, in my own time. So as a leader, don't feel like you have to be there right that second, but be there for them. Help them, encourage them, coach them, do all those things, and it's going to pay off, and you're going to see them start to hit their goals too. So I know we're a little bit over. So Regina, do you have any last things to say? I didn't want to cut you off if you did.
One of the biggest things that I will say is you guys need to work on your mindset. And I know that we say that 100 times, but Morgan knows, y'all, I am a mass LC enroller. I mean, I enrolled 42 in my first 3 weeks. I mean, I averaged 20 to 30. The best I've ever had is 65. So, I mean, and I am confident to say that. How long did I spend and not say I'm a mass DT enroller? Well, March, I decided I am. And I enrolled 9 last month and 3 today. It's because I said I am. I have decided. I changed everything. I started putting more effort. You guys, I'm like, oh, I'm not signing anybody. It's because I wasn't working as hard. I was afraid to let go of all these LCs that I was signing because I could maintain by myself. Y'all, I don't want to maintain. I don't want to be stuck at Ruby. My paycheck went up literally 10 times since May to last month. I mean, I matched my husband's income. I made the highest paycheck I've ever made in my entire life. I mean, it's because I decided that's what I was doing. I put more effort into post the post for distributors, more posting my story. I mean, not that I didn't do those things, but I put the same amount of effort in that I was doing to mass enroll LCs to mass enroll DTs. So now I am a mass enroller for DTs. Like, you guys don't understand how excited that makes me. Like, I spent an entire year thinking the wrong way. And I mean, and that was with me hearing it over and over, mindset and mindset. I've missed maybe 3 Zooms in a year and a half. Like, I mean, you hear that every time. And I just finally decided for myself that I was going to do that. So if you guys are struggling, and I know that it's hard to see sometimes, like right now with the deal, you have people signing distributors every 3 minutes, but you have to change your mindset. You have to. We can preach at you all day, but until you decide to do it, it's not going to do any good.
So good. So good. Thank you so much to every single person who shared tonight. That was bomb. Y'all are teaching me some stuff. I was like, oh my gosh, like, y'all made me so proud. I'm so thankful that y'all hopped on here and just shared your hearts. Guys, can y'all just like say thank you in the chat one more time for them, because I know some of them, this was their first time to speak. Some of them were a little nervous. So just tell them thank you, because this was bomb and I got a ton from it.